It began with the forging. The 3 were given to the elves, wrapped round a brick thrown through the window. 7 to the dwarfs, placed upon high shelves in Asda. And 9 were given to the race of man who above all desire shiny click-clacks. But they were all of them deceived, for these were wedding rings, and married to Sauron they now were. In other words, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Fluffenhammer. Hold on to your trousers, we're going to get geesey. Roll the music!
Screaming machines, gears in motion, industrial landscape, a loud explosion, heavy metal slamming, the rhythm intense, a symphony of chaos, of souls incense. Metal, we dance and we blow. Let the sins whisper, the power below. Listen to the words we say. Surrender now and hail to the
I think, I think we all know where that one came from.
Oh no, I think I've gone really, really subtle with that.
Yeah, very obscure that one.
Lion the Witch in the Wardrobe, right?
Yeah. Yes. But 9 were given to the race
There's a
of man
way-
and married to a
that's-
lion they were now.
Well, there's a way to piss off the Tolkien fans, the purists. Compare him to C.S. Lewis.
One of my favourite things that I know that does me no good, and I can't do anything with the knowledge, is the fact that C.S. Lewis and Tolkien were good friends.
They were indeed.
And Santa
yeah.
exists in the Chronicles of Narnia purely to piss off Tolkien, who thought
Yes,
it
'cause
made no sense.
Yeah. Well, Tolkien was quite verbose about his dislike for the Chronicles of Narnia. His letters to Lewis about how ridiculous that he found it are quite scathing.
Mm-hmm.
He found it absurd.
Lewis just did it to piss him off. It's like, that's why, for absolutely no reason, fucking Father Christmas is.
Is Santa Claus in the Chronicles of Narnia effectively Tom Bombadil?
Yeah.
Like, he's a super powerful being that could probably sort stuff out, but he doesn't.
He's super powerful, but yeah, I mean, but that's the Chronicles of Narnia full stop, right? Aslan could
Oh, yeah,
sort
that's
everything
true.
out like that, but
Yeah.
he doesn't because he's an asshole, basically. Has to summon alien children from another world to do his dirty work. He's God. He's literally God. That's not.
Well,
a
he's
metaphor.
Lion Jesus.
That's not a metaphor.
No.
He's literally God. In The Magician's Nephew, he creates Narnia. There's a sequence where he just creates Narnia. So whatever's going wrong in Narnia is his fault. There's no argument, it's his fault. He could have just not. I know the White Witch is there. I know that Jardis is there, but he could have just expelled her. He's a miracle worker, It's one of those weird things where you're supposed to regard this guy as the ultimate in virtue and goodness, but he's a wanker. He is the villain of that series in any objective sense.
Wow.
There's the episode title. That lion's a wanker.
That lion is a wanker.
You see that lion over there? Wanker.
Yeah. And you really get to realize it when you look at The Last Battle, the last Narnia book, which they've never filmed and they never will. Not
No.
as it is. There's not a chance they'll ever do it because it's such a nasty, bigoted piece of work. Never, ever, ever will.
Did
they
the
ever
beavers
film
rise up? Did the beavers rise up and
it's-
kill
it's
everybody?
worse. Oh, it's funny you mentioned killing everybody. You mentioned killing everybody, including the children.
No, it's
And
only
that
justified if the beavers do it.
That being a good thing, which is what The Last Battle actually does. It's like, whoa,
I've got an issue with the Chronicles of Narnia.
I've got many issues with the Chronicles of Narnia.
Oh, okay. There are what I would call problems with the Chronicles of Narnia. And then over here on this shelf, we've got the big problem, the groaning shelf that is about to collapse under the weight of this problem.
None of them
That
are the
problem
stuff
is
lying from
these-
the BBC version, are they? Because that was perfect.
I love the BBC version.
I'm
It's
gonna-
great.
BBC version's the only
BBC
one
one
worth
up.
watching.
Yeah, that's up on the shelf over here. That's safe.
That's great.
In
Yeah.
the same way that what's his face that did the Freddy Krueger remake, Jackie Earl Haley. Yeah, he is not to be blamed for anything that happens in that Nightmare on Elm Street
No,
remake.
no.
He goes on the shelf and he's safe.
That's
he's
fair.
all good. No, the problem I've got is these kids find themselves in a magic world, live out their entire life till adulthood and death,
Mhm.
and then just reappear, having lived out an entire life
As
back as
adults.
prepubescent children.
Yeah.
They have
There's-
experienced
oh.
life.
I so want to write that story. What comes after Narnia? Like what these kids experience, having been adults, lived a life, and then coming back to World War II Britain as children.
Mm-hmm. It's nightmarish.
Fuck job, right? The complete mind fuckery of that. Yeah,
And-
it's the stuff there that's really dark. There really is. And the last battle has this too. I mean, like, there's that sequence where the Pevensey children, so like Edmund, Peter, and Lucy, but not Susan, appear in Narnia at one point. And the reason Susan isn't there is because they were all in a train crash and were killed, and Susan wasn't. And they talk about it as though Susan is the unfortunate one.
Well, she's still stuck in World War II Britain, so
Oh no! At this point, she's not.
Oh.
She's in the post World War II period. She's actually having a whale of a time. There's actually
Oh.
it's really sniffy about it. Like Lucy says, oh, she's gone off to America now, and she's interested in boys and clothes. What you mean? She grew up, Lucy. She got the chance to actually grow up, but it's promoted as though it's this terrible thing. And the morality of that book is like, woo, it's really problematic. It's very, very dark and unpleasant, and it reveals a lot about Lewis's psyche, which is creepy. It's
yeah.
the thing he has with children and childhood and this notion of innocence is, it's very unpleasant.
What the hell was it called? There was a book I read a couple of years back.
Daffy, the horse and his boy, that will never happen.
Oh, no.
That will never in a million years happen. The only way that will happen is if we actually do. I mean, actually, I say it'll never happen, but the only way that will happen is if we actually do slide down into like V for Vendetta style fascism, and that is part of the propaganda. The reason they've never adapted the Narnia book, The Horse and His Boys, because it's racist as fuck. Like
It's bad. It's
oh wow,
really
is it bad?
bad.
It's the kind of thing where Nigel Farage would read it and go, it's a bit strong, that's a bit much. It's so racist. I mean, when I came back to read it like the last time, I was unprepared for how racist it is. Well, look at it this way. It's so racist that 1980s BBC didn't adapt it. They missed it out completely. Even though it's the easiest of the Narnia books to adapt, because there's hardly any of the monsters, magic, talk. The only monster in it is Aslan, and they've already got the Aslan puppet. So even the BBC in the 1980s was sat around a table going, "Oh, we'll have to miss this one out. Let's just go straight to Prince Caspian and the Dawn Treader, shall we?"
Man alive. Oh, just a nice little wander down memory lane there as I remember all the reasons why I just never liked Chronicles of Narnia. Never got on with it.
My relationship with it is complex because they're the books I learned to read with.
Mhm.
So I will always have an attachment to them. There are things about them I love. Things about them I absolutely love. But as you grow older, this is what happens. You start to realize what Lewis was doing with them, what his agenda was, and what his politics was. And then you start to sort of become much more ambiguous about them. It's it's a very complex relationship, I think a lot of kids who grew up with those books have.
I'm coming through a different way because I basically learned to read with the famous 5 books.
Oh,
right.
yes.
And
What about Secret 7? Your thoughts on Secret 7?
Secret
With more of
Seven,
them.
shit.
Oh, were they the Jabberjaw compared to the Scooby-Doo? Is that what you're saying?
They really were. They really were. The Secret 7, they were just like, someone's nicked a bun. And they're just chasing like bun thieves through the streets.
So
Whilst over here,
nothing
there's like,
yeah.
actual murderers are stealing things and they've got a rabid monkey. You know, it's like worlds apart. But I remember going back to the Famous Five in my early 20s. Jesus Christ. That's, there's elements to those books which I don't remember coming across, but yeah, Pongo the monkey. That's he looks just like a little boy. Oh, Jesus Christ! Stop it! Stop it! And you freak.
Where that's going, yeah. It's
Well, it's going
it's
one of two
also-
ways. Neither of them are good.
it's also jolly hockey sticks as well, isn't it? You know, they're all so fucking upper class, aren't they? Oh, wizard, fuck off!
Lashings of ginger beer.
Lashings of ginger. Set yourselves alight and die.
Wow.
Oh my god! Just the
Did you guys see the remake, the Famous Five redo that was on over Christmas?
no,
Was
did
it a
not.
live action thing?
An actual
Yeah.
no, that one
no.
missed. That one passed me by.
Oh, they kept that one quiet. I can't remember the guy who directed it. He's known for like proper gory thrillers. It's a French director, and they got him in, and every sort of team of people are making their own thing. So the Famous Five are making their thing. The main bad guy, I don't know what he's doing.
Yeah.
It's what's his name?
Luc Besson's Famous Five, Daffith. Yeah, I'd pay money to see that. I would pay money.
Luc Besson's Famous Five. Yeah,
wow.
honestly, it was the kid who was in Game of Thrones as King Joffrey. He's the main bad guy.
Okay.
And he's in some kind of weird, horrible socio thriller thing where he is just being as downright creepy as he can physically be. And then you've got the Famous Five who are just like and then just corpses are floating by in the water. This is it feels like a fucking fever dream. It really does.
I can't want to watch that now.
No, I recommend you do. It is akin to just like inhaling a big old bowl of ayahuasca because nothing can prepare you for what you see on that screen. It is insane.
That sounds really interesting. I mean, I've always been a little bit repelled by the jolly hockey sticks nature of the Famous Five, but
well, according to this remake, how does George get Timmy the dog? Right?
Is this a trick question?
Any ideas?
It's a very strange question.
George gets Timmy the dog because Timmy the dog is on a ship that's sinking because the person who owned the ship has been shot in the head.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So she just goes onto this other person's boat, steals the dog, doesn't stop to see if there's anybody that needs help, steals the dog, and waves bye-bye to this boat sinking.
I mean, they got a free dog.
It's so weird.
Yeah.
They only had a bullet in the
is.
head, so they weren't going to complain.
How it would even occur to you to do a remake of the Famous Five these days? It just doesn't fly, does it?
No.
These sort of rich public school kids all dressed in their hockey gear. It's adolescent Boris Johnson and his mates, isn't it? It's like nobody wants to see that, not unless they're getting hurt, obviously.
Oh, honestly, I recommend watching it because it's unlike anything I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying it's good.
Wow.
I am not saying it's good, but it's a freaking experience.
Compelling rather than good, yeah?
It is like watching somebody just being slowly dismembered with a chainsaw. You should look away.
Oh,
you really should.
No, it's
'Cause
really
it's going to be burnt in your...
It's character building, my friend. That's character building. Not for the person being chainsawed. Their character's kind of done at that point. But for you, that's a moment. That's a Scarface moment. Look how he turned out.
Bearing in mind, you're talking to someone here who saw Saltburn and saw it as an entirely moral parable. Entirely moral.
Oh, Saltburn. That was You know the feeling
It's
of Saltburn,
Gormenghast.
right?
It's
But-
Gormenghast.
Yeah.
It's Gormenghast with it's basically queer, really horny Gormenghast, isn't it?
So Gormenghast then.
Yeah, yeah, I suppose so. Very interesting. Very interesting piece of work.
I don't think I've got any other interesting films that I've seen recently to tell you guys about.
I just like the way I like the way Mark
mm.
Commodes described it, which is he said if you think of it as a gothic romance where every character is a vampire, basically, it has this whole other resonance and layer, and you watch it again and you're like, you know what, every character kind of is a vampire. They just don't come out with it. You know, it's not overt. It's so interesting. It has all the tropes and all the feelings of a gothic romance. But it's kind of neo-gothic. It's postmodern gothic. It's really interesting.
What was that Del Toro gothic horror that he did more than a couple of years back now?
Tom Hiddleston.
Crimson Peak.
Crimson Peak.
Crimson
Yeah,
Peak,
that
yeah.
That
didn't like that.
Saying it like that, it does feel like Saltburn took all the lessons and decided to go a completely different way with gothic horror romance.
But it made it political, didn't it? It made it far more political, essentially, you know. Because nobody in Saltburn is likable. No one is actually a good person in Saltburn. But that one character, that basically the steerpike of the piece, he's the one who, the only one you can kind of identify with, because nobody is part of that awful, awful world, are they? Nobody is. And yeah, by the end, I was sort of like, you know what, fuck him. Yeah, I'm totally with him. I'm totally with him. Apart from his peculiar, I mean, don't get me wrong, you know, I could understand aesthetically why he liked the you know, the boy, but on the other hand, he was a wanker too. You know, he was a rich wanker, like all of the rest. So
big old liar. That's what he was. He was a big old liar.
Also, Richard E. Grant. Anything with Richard E. Grant, I'm in. I'm just in. You know, I just love him.
Is this a spoiler? I don't know. I'm just going to ask the question out. Has anyone seen Who's Playing the Emperor in Dune Part 2?
Is it Richard Grant?
Is it Richard E. Grant?
No.
Oh,
it is not. It's Christopher Walken.
Oh, I'm in. Yeah,
and I am so happy.
In. I don't care about the rest of the film. I sincerely don't care about the rest of the film.
You've got to walk without rhythm. Just yes, absolutely.
I think he would have been better in the David Lynch one, though, wouldn't he?
Yeah,
he would have fit more.
Yeah.
Well, he would have fit more, but I feel that I was already excited for Dune Part 2.
Yeah.
No, I think I was already excited for Dune Part 2, but just knowing that in this like very po-faced retelling of Dune, which, obviously I'm going to stick my flag down and say Dune Part 1, fucking brilliant. The idea that Walken's just going to turn out and Walken his way. Although saying that, late career Walken, or like semi-retired Walken, is putting out some of the best work he's ever done. It's like, have you seen Severed?
No, haven't yet.
Walken's entire character arc in Severed is one of the saddest things I've ever seen put to screen. It is amazing. It's just
yeah, Walken's one of those weird actors. He can do it. You know, when he wants to do like a proper, deep, resonant, dramatic role, he can do it. He can absolutely do it. But he tends to get overshadowed by his Walkenness, doesn't he? You know, by the stereotype of what is Walken.
Did you ever want to see a film a series where Chris Walken and John Turturro act like little schoolgirls and just flirt insanely for 5 episodes? I mean, I didn't know I did, but it's brilliant. It's brilliant.
I want to see a buddy cop between Gary Busey and Christopher Walken. I want that movie.
God. Wow.
No, it has to be Gary Busey's son now.
Yeah,
are you saying there can only be one Busey? Are you saying the son has cut off the head of Gary Busey?
Well, I don't think the universe has got space for 2, does it?
No, the universe doesn't have enough room for that many teeth.
No, definitely not.
Well, Busey Beauty Senior has absolutely lost it. He's not.
And that too.
He's not out anywhere anymore.
Do they
He's
not
in his
let him
own
out? Is that what
Well,
it
he-
is?
his own private residence in his padded room.
Yeah.
He's happy.
Yeah.
Well, he's missing a big part of his brain. So
Oh.
yeah.
Well, you know,
Yeah, he had a
is that recent or
motorbike
is that
crash.
like
Of
a?
course he had a crash, didn't he? Of course he did. Yeah.
which is why he went from being like quite a terrifying actor to being.
Gary
that.
Busey? Yeah.
And of course, it's now caused some serious forms of dementia in him.
Yeah,
So
that makes
that's why you don't
sense.
see him anymore.
Yeah.
Mm. Poor Busey, which is why Gary Busey's son should always just turn up, because it's just enough Busey. Should we talk about some hobby stuff?
Sure.
Shall
Yeah.
we?
Andy.
Yeah.
Andy, we'll start with you.
Yeah.
What have you been doing since last we spoke?
Nothing really. Nothing Warhammer wise. I've just kind of the best I've done is kind of just rearrange shelves and taken out some stuff from a display case and putting the Imperial Guard into there, and that's really about it. I'm afraid nothing much. I was going to pre-order Usharon, but I went, yeah, I don't. I'll save some money instead. You know, he's not going to sell out. He'll be back in the stock.
No,
at some
No,
point.
he'll be
I don't need
around
to
for a
rush.
little bit.
Yeah, and it's not like I can play anybody in the game anyway, so I don't need to get him done specifically for a game session or anything like that.
No. At some point, when I've got some free time, I do need to like pop round.
So
and get a game
never.
with you.
So never.
Yeah.
Just say never. When your son
Well.
is 18 and you're retired and you're like 70
Yes,
and you
yes,
finally
and there'll
stop
be
doing
time.
things,
Well,
then
that'll
we can
be
play.
like what ed will that be? That'll be like what 19th ed maybe.
Yeah.
Awfully bold of you to think I'm going to get to retire there, Andy.
I was going to say,
That's
Andy,
true. Yeah.
that's a very rosy look at the future you've got going on there.
It's
I
well,
admire
to
it.
be fair, I either see Gruff retiring or becoming Mecha Hitler from Wolfenstein, and I think we're aiming for Mecha Hitler at this point.
Well, I did accidentally earlier on today put myself forward as the head of a political movement called the Fuck No movement. With the sole intention of going around to people's houses and kneecapping them.
Oh my god, that's called being a hitman.
Yeah,
It's only a hitman
That's
if someone
the-
pays you to do it. If
it's a
you are
very
going
niche
around with a
political
mob,
project. That one.
you're head of a cult. So,
So we need to get you some nice robes, some nice old man robes for your
Yeah,
cult then.
yeah.
the only cult I'm ever going to be interested in.
Old man robes. Isn't that what we technically call a dressing gown?
Yeah, but they're not. We want something a bit more flamboyant than a dressing gown, don't we?
Right. Yeah, are you thinking like Bram Stoker's Dracula?
Yeah, that's pretty flamboyant.
You
Yeah.
see, this is where you're going wrong, right? If you're going to start a cult, the first thing you do not do is get robes. You get
What?
robes, people are going to see you coming, right? What you do go for
that's true.
is a outlandish hat. So I start off with a normal stovepipe, and the more followers I get, the taller the hat gets. And it has more compartments and things inside of it, until you eventually see me coming over the tops of buildings with my giant hat.
There's a cartoon character like that, I think, but I can't remember his name. He just has a ridiculously tall hat that goes on for miles.
Probably.
No, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, yes. George,
Hello.
what giant hats have you been playing around with this last
I haven't
few
been
weeks?
playing around with giant hats, unfortunately. I've been mucking about with my Wrath and Rapture box set though, which has been just sat there, staring longingly at me for the longest
Wait, which one's
time.
that? Is that the Eldar versus the
one-
Chaos set?
No, this is an AOS set from ages ago.
Ah.
It's Slanesh demons versus Khorne demons.
Oh my god, that one.
Yeah, long time. But I put together the Infernal and Rapturess from that. The demonette with the heartstring lyre that's made out of the victims. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. That is. Been doing little bits and pieces to my Death Guard. Nothing much, just little, putting worms on things and boils and things like that. There will be pictures relatively soon when I've got something up and ready. Beyond that, I've been doing a little bit of hobby with D&D. I've been writing the third installment of a campaign that I've been running with our mutual friend Ray Curran and his husband. Which, I introduced them to D&D through this campaign. They've never played it before. They've never played any RPG before. So it's been really fun. It's been really fun. Obviously, it fell off during the COVID years.
Yeah.
And we've been trying to get steam back up to re-enter it, you know. And I've just got someone, I think it was Will Bishop actually,
Oh, yeah,
another
yeah.
mutual friend, bought me, you know, the recent 5th ed stuff with Sigil and the box set that has the books
Yep.
that describe Sigil and all that kind of thing, the Lady of Pain, all that kind of thing. They bought me that. So I've been sort of trying to look at a way of getting the campaign over into Sigil because it's such a great setting.
It is. It is.
It's such a brilliant setting. I love it to bits. But you can do anything there, can't you? You can literally do anything there. So yeah, I've always liked that. I mean, obviously, you know, it's the same as everyone else. Ever since playing Planescape Torment, always loved that setting. Always wanted to set a campaign there. So there we are.
It's one of the biggest regrets of my life is during the COVID years, I just got married, just had a kid, and was working from home. So I had no time to do anything. And other stuff was happening as well.
You do love your wife and child, though. We'll say
absolutely,
that now.
Absolutely.
You do love them.
But
Disclaimer.
But it
Disclaimer.
doesn't.
Just in case Abby sees this.
That goes without saying.
Yeah.
You know? Goes without saying.
But it's worth
Well,
saying just in case.
Just in
But if I'd been
case.
single, living in my little flat in Denton Mill during COVID, I could have run so many RPGs and made so much money on live streaming them. It's insane.
And so many
It
people
annoys me
did as
greatly.
well. Like really took off, didn't it?
The entirety, I mean, when lockdown first happened, I was looking at trying to get the Curse of Strahd.
Nah,
You know,
it's a good
would
book.
it be possible to do a Curse of Strahd? And I realized there is no way I'm going to be able to do a weekly RPG with a small child.
No, no, it's a lot of work, isn't it? If you're running it, the writing, the
DMing,
you know, it's a lot of work.
It is, but I always prefer DMing to playing.
Yeah, me too.
Always have
Actually,
done. I love it.
I like the
Love
DMing
it.
part. I think it's the
Oh, and
storyteller part,
granted-
isn't it? You know, you are the storyteller, aren't you? And that's what makes it so fun.
Having to invent stuff wildly on the fly.
Wildly, yes.
I'll
But
never
that's
forget
also
the.
part of fun.
I'll never forget the D&D kind of game, RPG game you tried to run at TF Nation, and it basically boiled down to you and Mikey arguing about how the story was meant to play out, or something like that. And everybody in the game, apart from you two, we just gave up because it was just you two bickering, or rather, it was Mikey bickering and you just trying to work around him.
That's brilliant. Oh, that's
Gruff was so annoyed.
Oh no.
I had to go and sit in the jacuzzi for a little bit just to.
Yeah, you took
myself
a
out.
break.
You know, you have to establish that when you're the DM, you're the last word. Yeah.
Well, the
You are God.
joke I always had is, for the next 2 hours, I am God and my word is law.
Yeah.
And,
Exactly that.
yeah.
Exactly that.
I mean, every single RPG I've ever ran, we will get back onto Warhammer, I promise. It's
We
always
will,
had a
yeah,
character
there's loads
called Didactylos. And Didactylos is if you're going to put him into D&D terms, he's about a level 80 mage who has telekinesis
80?
powers. Oh, yeah.
So he's a god, basically. He's
Yep.
like beyond the levels of some of the gods, basically.
But the only thing he's interested in is trying different types of jerky. He has attempted everything else that the universe has got to offer him, and he's realized he hasn't tried all the different types of jerky you can get.
He did everything else but left jerky out.
If he's level
Wow.
80, he could basically create his own entire reality of jerky.
No one doesn't want to do that. He has to experience jerky properly. Now, the downside is that once he finds out there's an animal he hasn't tried to turn into jerky, he will summon that animal using summon animal. But because of the way it works, he doesn't just create an animal, he just plucks an unsuspecting one that then travels towards him at warp speed and is cooked by the time it gets to him.
I suppose he could he could go for like abstract jerky, couldn't he? So he could make like jerky from demons or from spirits or something like that. Oozes and unicorns and whatever else you can find in the various realms of the D&D multiverse.
He once made jerky out of a funeral.
Modron jerky? That'd be metal, wouldn't it? That'd be weird.
Like, you mean the entire funeral
No.
was turned into jerky? Like the
Well, you
church, the
realise there was
coffin, the body, the flowers.
So during the game, there was this moment where they were putting one of the players to rest who had died.
Mhm.
Obviously, new character and everything.
Yeah.
But they wanted because he'd done so much and he died stupidly heroically. So they were there, and he's just sitting there. It's like, there's a taste in the air. I've never, I can't remember ever tasting it before. It's like, it's almost like tears, but with a side part of sadness. So he gets out his little magic knife and he just starts cutting the air, making jerky out of the sense of remote,
Yeah,
the
so you
sense of
can make
grieving.
jerky out of concepts. Yeah, it's
Oh, yeah.
properly abstract jerky. Yeah,
So there's people are trying to have like
I like that.
this entire funeral taking place, and he's just sitting there like carving the air.
Now that's a business model right there.
He was he's one of my favorite characters ever. Him and the monk known as Shatner-esque.
Shatner-esque, did you say?
Shatner-esque.
Yeah. Did he talk in a very particular pattern?
He did indeed.
Did he wear a girdle?
Indeed.
Yeah,
He did. He actually did.
Fantastic, as it should be. No shame.
Occasionally, his toupee would just wander off his head and start wandering around the different monasteries.
That's what I like to hear.
Oh, man. It was the same game where the first enemy the players had to deal with was a load of turnips.
A load of turnips.
Just these turnips started rising from the ground like zombies chasing them. It's like,
You know the funny thing, there are rule sets for shit like that. That's the thing about D&D,
God, yeah.
right? You can do it. You want zombie vegetables? Go at it. Why not?
Yeah. Oh man. Oh, I miss RPG so much. It's just brilliant. There was one of the characters had a disappointing sword where every time it brought it out, it would speak in the voice of your mother and just say why she was disappointed in you.
That's brilliant. God, that is a properly accursed sword. That is.
Oh god, yeah. One of our players was a knight who was being haunted by the spirit of his dad twice. Because due to a head injury, he thought he was being haunted, which aggravated the spirit of his dead father so much.
Right.
It actually came and haunted him. So he had basically like the devil and the angel on his shoulder, what he thought his dad would say, what his dad's actually saying to him.
Brilliant.
And he had to pick which was the right way to go. Oh, they were good days.
Fantastic. I always like introducing like the devil characters into my games. There's I always like the devils as opposed to the demons are great fun as well, but when the big demon lords turn up, it's an apocalypse, isn't it? Whereas like the devils, they like to muck about. Asmodeus and his lot. They will talk to the players and they'll start to manipulate them and do bargains with them and stuff like that. And that's fun. I like that.
Which actually just made me. Either of you two guys played Baldur's Gate 3 yet?
Not yet. No,
Dreaming
I
it.
really want to. I really want to play it. I haven't yet, but I know it's going to absorb my existence. That's the annoying thing. So I've sort of like, distanced myself until I've got some time off.
Yes.
Then I'm going to play the bloody thing.
Andy, have you? Did you get the secret Raphael fight?
No, I think we've missed it. I'm on to Act 2 at the moment. So on Moonrise Tower. So I might have missed it. If that's the second encounter with Raphael. If there's a third encounter, we haven't got to it yet.
Raphael, I mean, are we talking? Are we talking the angel, the artist, or the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle? I mean, what?
He's a devil, a demon.
Yeah,
I don't know
devil.
if he like how big he is in D&D, but he's one of them.
He's one of the devil characters.
Yeah.
He's got a secret hidden fight where the music starts up and it turns into a full-blown Disney song. As he's kicking the shit out of you. It's brilliant.
Absolutely brilliant.
Myself, what have I been up to? I got the Warhammer Day 2023 miniature this week, finally.
Oh,
which one was that?
Which one?
The Voton. Voton.
Of course you did. The Votan. Yeah, obviously.
got him all finished up, so I'm really happy with that. I've finally got that Blacktron, G2 Blacktron down. It now works. So it's undercoat with grey and then build up to white rather than start white and then trying to shade downwards. So it now works. I'm very, very pleased with it. That's really cool. I also got my copy of Rogue Trader, the Made to Order Rogue Trader reprint. So I am really pleased with that. I've had a good read of that last night, and I'd forgotten, because it's been a while since I've read it, because it's been a long time since I've owned a copy, just how much 40k lands fully formed. You know, elements change and little bits and bobs change, but the full universe as such is fully formed there.
Yeah, I hear they didn't
Yeah,
change a huge amount between then and now. Just like you say, little bits and bobs for the most part.
It's small detail, doesn't it? Like space,
It's more just filling stuff
you
in.
know, becoming Ubermensch, kind of genetically modified, rather than just being men in armored, you know, in armored suits and whatnot. Introducing the Primarchs, which didn't come until a little bit later on.
Yeah, I mean, by the time second edition rolled around, 40k as we know it was there.
Pretty
it was
much established.
completely done. Yeah. I mean, it was like the chapter approved books that fleshed everything out and got all the stuff like the Primarchs in. You know, it's a really weird one.
But at the same time, it's interesting how much does change, isn't it, between that and second ed? So, like you say, you have like the Primarchs don't exist in that book. They're not. Well,
No.
rather they're not. They're just generals, aren't they? There's no notion of the Space Marines being like genetically modified Supermen or anything like that.
No, I mean, some of them are criminals.
Some of them
Yeah,
are criminals, right? Some of them are mutants as well, aren't they? Some of them are kind of hybrids between humans and alien races. They're a very different concept at that point. And Horus is just like the most trusted general of the Emperor, isn't he? And if I remember correctly, in that version of the story, he's not killed. There's no vengeful spirit. There's no like chip. He's killed in his command bunker, if I remember correctly.
Yes, that is correct. Let's go back. I was literally just on that page as well.
I don't think it's until it's not until the Lost and the Damned that you get the you know, the classic Bill King version of that confrontation, which is on the ship, and you know, it's the big sort of uber psychic clash between him and the Emperor.
Yeah, it's a great read. In all honesty, it really enjoyed going back through it. Also, I want Enslavers to return, because Enslavers appear to have been in Rogue Trader the big bad. Yeah, it's Chaos is there. Chaos is a, like, you know, the sort of front and center big bad, but the Enslavers are like there as being this horrible thing that's just off to one side.
Yeah,
and they are the big threat that eventually gets changed into be the Tyranids.
Yes, yeah.
It's very strange.
I mean, they still talk about enslavers. They do exist in the background, but all they are now are sort of like warp parasites. They're just sort of like, you know, bits of warp fluff that coalesce and become these parasitic entities.
That's a shame.
Yeah,
I prefer them to be an alien species, just on their own. I think that's better.
Yeah, it's just weird how much they are just being. They're mentioned constantly throughout the book as being like the biggest threat to the Imperium. It's really weird. Very odd. What else have I been up to? I think that's. Oh yes, and the other thing I've been doing is I've been painting old-fashioned Chaos Dwarfs.
Hey.
So, third ed Chaos Dwarfs.
Oh, with big hats and everything.
No.
No?
They're fourth ed.
Oh, are they fourth ed ones, right? So
Yeah,
they're not getting
the big head
until later.
These ones are pre-big hat.
Oh wow, God. Oh yeah.
This is when they were just.
They're just like
Tiny Chaos Warriors.
Yeah.
They're really cool, because before Boar Centaurs, before the Bull Centaurs, you had Boar Centaurs.
Oh God.
Is that an actual pewter one?
Wow.
Was
Yeah,
that 3D printed?
that's metal.
Oh, nice.
No, that's metal. These are all metal.
Nice.
I've got a fair few of them now. I've just been slowly building them up. This one, I don't know if it's meant to look like it or not, but they're not boar legs, they're horse legs. He's a pony.
Oh, you mean like one of those small ones, the little micro horses?
Yeah.
Yeah, little donkey.
Yeah.
Little donkey.
So are these like eBay finds? Or are these like from a kind of third party kind of reproducer kind of thing?
Some of them are ones I bought from Old School Miniatures. Some of them are ones that I found was cleaning through some of my old stuff.
Ah,
So he is tiny. He is the
Oh,
tiniest
wow.
one.
he looks like Shovel Knight
He really does.
without the shovel.
Yes.
So if you
Yeah.
He
compare them,
really
you can
does.
see them. So the color I've been painting them probably doesn't help that. But yeah.
Very cool.
So that has been just my slow project because I want to have a full Old Hammer Chaos Dwarf army for Bring Out Your Lead in August.
Ooh.
And
How's it
for
going?
them, they inevitably reintroduce the Chaos Dwarves in some shape or form into AOS, which they will.
Well, that's okay because like you're aiming for Bring Out Your Lead. That's old school. That's not new school, so that's okay. So when Games Workshop do bring out the new dwarves, that's a different thing. That's different. So it's okay to have both of them.
I like that. That sort of
Yes.
psychological partitioning. That's
Yes, they're
quite
two
clever.
different things.
Once-
It's okay.
That's a
Once
nice
I-
defense. I like that.
Once I finish doing these ones, I'm moving on to the big hat ones because I've managed to build up a fair collection of them
Compartmentalize,
now.
Adam. Compartmentalize.
Mhm.
Yep.
And they're going to
Yep.
be for like 5th and 6th ed. So that's good. And possibly Old World as well.
Yeah,
If I ever play Old World. So yeah, I'm looking forward to once I've put all that time, effort, and money into making 2 separate armies of Chaos Dwarfs for Games Workshop to finally release a Chaos Dwarf army for Age of Sigmar.
maybe if they do.
I have placed all the brakes on my Skaven because
Yeah, that
it
makes
looks
sense.
like the Skaven are coming
It
in
does,
Yeah.
doesn't it?
this summer with AOS 4
Mhm.
with a big old overhaul. So
Yeah. Looks like they're going to get AOS'd completely and utterly. So, about time.
it really they need it
Wow.
badly. So I've just put the brakes on the Skaven for now, and I look forward to weeping as I realise how many clan rats I'll have to paint.
Mhm.
No, well, maybe they'll have the battle line where you can have the storm vermin again, so you won't need the clan rats.
Well, I've got the way I've got it set up at the moment is I've got Storm Vermin and Storm Fiends as battle line, so I don't
Yeah.
need to go clan rats. So
Yeah.
that's fine. That's all good. Yeah. Outside of that, I finished Ending the Death Part 3.
Yes.
Woo.
Likewise. Likewise.
We won't go into detail on that one, but whew,
Mm,
that was a bit good. It was all
yeah,
right.
Wow. Wow.
And I'm and I'm currently through Dead Men Walking, which is a look into what it is to be a Krieg, Deathcore of Krieg soldier.
Is it happy?
I imagine
No,
it's
Is
brief.
it fun?
It's interesting because the concept of the book is why do the Krieg need a commissar? Because the Krieg have the lowest desertion rates.
Mhm,
The
mhm.
morale is never called into question. And so what do they need commissars for? And what they need them for is to be go-betweens between the Krieg and everybody else,
Huh.
and to stop them from going too far.
Right. So, let me get this straight. The commissar stopped the Krieg from going too far.
Yes,
Wow. Jesus.
it's a really, really fun little book. Been thoroughly
That's
enjoying it.
interesting. It's an inversion of the commissariat role, yeah?
Mm-hmm. There's a
like
sequence between a commissar who's been with the Krieg for 30 years and one that's just been called up. And this one that's just been called up going, what do I do? They don't talk to me about anything. They don't want to, I can't invite any of their captains to a meal or anything. I can't make any headway. And the guy goes, oh, you never will. You never will. You are not Krieg. And says, well, why are they like this way? And he explains what happened to Krieg. And I was going, yeah, okay, so I've always known the story, but this goes into so much detail that I'm like, no, I understand. I totally understand why Krieg's the way they are. It's Do you guys know why the Kriegers are so Kriegy?
No.
So about a millennia ago, Krieg had a load of high-level autocrats who decided they were going to break away from the Imperium and form their own government. Right?
Bad move.
Now they almost did it by completely covering the planet in orbital defense systems and shooting any ship that came near them, so nothing could break through.
Yeah.
There was one guy and his platoon, and he was the only one fighting them. Right? So, one general and say like 6,000 troopers versus the rest of the planet plus the planetary defenses. And he got his hands on some AdMech illegal weaponry and just went, well, if the Emperor can't have the planet, no one's having the planet.
Nobody's having it, yeah.
So Krieg has no atmosphere, is completely irradiated, and has no industry. The only thing Krieg can sell are its children into the Imperial Guard.
Wow. Wow.
Matt's holy shit. That's grim.
Ouch.
Work with what you got.
Yeah, Jesus.
Yeah. So all Krieg children, when they are born, they are indoctrinated into why they have to fight for the Imperium, and it's because their ancestors tried to break away from it. So that's all Krieg.
Ancestral guilt.
Yeah, I love it.
It's real nasty.
And
Should we
you're
talk
like,
about?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Wait. You will have to excuse my my voice going in and out. I've had a really bad cold, and it just will not leave me alone. Right, to begin, let's get clean. So
this is a bit of a shocker.
Oh.
So yeah, Power Wash Simulator
What?
has a.
Fine. Okay. Why
It's
not?
not that.
Right?
It's not that surprising. The Power Wash
When you-
Simulators had quite a few
Yeah.
crossover with other games. So
Yes. When you look
Yeah.
at it,
That's
it
it.
does make sense, but it's just, I don't know. There's just something about it that's like, I'm like, what?
it's probably the happiest
enough.
Warhammer game.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. It will be the most relaxing Warhammer game, won't it? Because Power Wash Simulator is like, it's like a sedative.
I think a lot of these things are so dirty that they'd be classed as corrupted and just scrapped, right? Because these are
destroyed.
dirty.
Yeah.
In the trailer, there's a Thunderbird that has a chaos symbol on it. That would just be destroyed. I don't
Oh
think.
my god! Can you
just
imagine the Death Guard version of this?
Dirty,
Just firing the dirt
simulator.
on.
Yeah,
I mean,
that'd
would
be quite fun.
That'd be like Sisyphean hell, wouldn't it?
I think that might have been the better way to do this, right?
That would have been fun, actually.
Because it would flip the entire game on its head. It's like, oh,
You'd have to
dirty
dirty it
everything up.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah, oh, that would be better. Oh,
The
Yeah.
one that got me in the trailer
Yeah.
was the Dreadnought. Just that Dreadnought looks so happy being cleaned.
Yeah.
Is it an active dreadnought?
Yep. Just sitting there. Just looks so happy. It's like, oh.
That's fun. That's fun. I like that.
Even in death, I didn't take joy in baths. Aye, it's everything from a Rogel Dawn to the lofty carapace of a towering Imperial Knight. The freaking Knight.
Fine. A knight. You can clean a knight. That would
Yeah,
not be fun. I mean, like it'd be fun in the game, but like within universe, having to clean an Imperial Knight. Oof.
Oh, this is going to sound really weird, but I really want to try and find a way to get my hands on the assets from this game, just because it looks so much fun.
It does look fun. It does look fun. A Power Wash Simulator is fun.
No, Gruff didn't say play the game. Gruff said
No.
specifically this the assets from the game.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what I could do with these assets. I could have so much fun. All the little buildings look great. Yeah, in the year where Chaos Gate finally comes out on console, Power Wash Simulator may be the best 40k game out this year.
It's weird. I thought that Chaos Kid was on console ages ago, but
No.
then obviously, clearly, I learned like a few weeks ago there wasn't. I was like, really? I thought it was simultaneous release.
No,
Right,
PC
you'd
only.
have thought
Yeah.
so, wouldn't you? You'd have thought so,
Weird.
but
Yeah.
no, it wasn't. It wasn't. It was a PC only game. That was, even
It's
though
pretty
it was
good.
really popular.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's not the best thing ever. It's pretty good.
Mhm.
But it's decent for you know, as Warhammer games go. It's okay, isn't it? It's not bad.
Yeah, it's one of the better ones when you
Yeah.
put it in that kind of category. Yeah, you know, yeah. Mm.
I mean, last
They
year.
no Fire Warrior though, so top
Oh.
tier game. The bullet spurn simulator, Fire
Yeah,
Warrior.
Wow.
No, last year you had Bolt Gun, you had Rogue Trader.
Yeah. Yeah, Boltgun's good. Boltgun's fun.
Oh, and Rogue Trader, of course, has had that massive overhaul this week.
It
The
has,
problem
yeah.
with Rogue Trader is it's buggy. It's got a lot of nasty
Yeah.
bugs in it, and apparently most of the bugs are near the third act, I think,
Mhm.
and some of them can be game breaky if you're unlucky to get
Oh,
them.
Yeah. That's
which is
what
annoying.
this
Yeah.
overhaul is, isn't it? It fixes
I
everything.
think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, is it a new? Yeah, because I know it's had updates, but I don't know if they fixed everything yet. It's kind of why I haven't bothered getting it yet, because it's like, no, I'll wait till it's not a nightmare, and then I'll get it eventually.
The update has, was it 18,000 lines of detail?
Oh,
There was a lot. Yeah,
it
Gonna
was
be reading
big.
that.
It's a real big update. I mean, it gives you the
Not
chance to respec
Gonna be reading
your team,
that.
because the way it's been rebalanced and everything means that
Hmm.
what you've been playing as might not work anymore. So you've got a complete
Right.
respec. Yeah, it's very weird. Yeah, but yeah, Power Wash. It just made me very
Fair
happy.
enough, right?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Made me
It's fun.
Right then, let's get into some proper stuff. It's Warhammer World Anniversary next month, and there's going to be reveals.
So that's
You
going
going?
because we're going to see a lot of stuff, aren't we? We are going to see a lot of what's coming up for 40k.
Mhm.
We'll see what's coming up for AOS, and we'll see a goose apparently.
That goose
Like,
conjures
What
up
is this?
That goose contains so many questions.
I'm trying to
You
think
know-
like where it could belong, like what it could refer to. I don't.
It's
gotta
gonna be
AOS, surely,
No,
or AOS, or the old world.
halflings for the old world. That's what it'll be.
It could be the halflings or something. Yeah.
Isn't
It's
it
gotta
shit
be-
that it's now a mount for Cities of Sigmar? Like it's a giant goose.
Like it's massive, yeah.
Yeah,
like
it's huge.
chimera-sized.
Yep.
Oh, that would be the ultimate evil, wouldn't it? That would
Yeah,
be
pretty
like,
much,
That would
yeah.
overshadow the Chaos Gods and like that would have to
Archaon's
be the
new
god
mount.
of- yeah, that would have to be the new god of destruction, wouldn't it? Surely.
Oh, what about Malarian? This is Malarian's model. They made a mistake. He's not a dragon, he's a goose.
He's a goose. Yeah.
You silly goose.
I mean, obviously, this is part of a larger model, right? It's going to be something on
Yeah.
a base or something
Yeah.
like that. But to what? I
Well, here's my
don't
questions.
know.
First of all, why is it wearing Ash Ketchum's hat from Pokemon? Secondly, if this is 40k and it is like, I don't know, a Goosarian or
isn't.
something, that conjures up many, many questions that I feel that we need to do
It
deep dives
really
into.
does.
Yeah.
That they've like bypassed the fishmen and gone straight for the goosemen. Yeah,
I mean, the only other thing I can think of is it's a Kroot holding it by the feet and it's going to hit somebody with it.
That would be good for an orc, actually, wouldn't it?
actually,
An
for an
orc.
orc,
Yeah.
as an orc weapon, a goose.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that working. But I can't even fathom what that could be part of. You know,
No.
it's so strange. It's so odd.
Boring answer. It's a little cute animal, part of a underworld set where you go, oh, I don't want the rest of it. I just want that.
That's
Right.
entirely possible. Actually,
Like the crab and the
like a
yeah.
crab. Yeah.
I would imagine it wouldn't be underworld because I don't think they'd front page as a look at this coming soon, and it's like it's an underworld thing. But that would be the boring answer if it was
Again,
revealed to be like
I
that.
don't know what it would belong to, unless it's like a Cities of Sigmar.
It has,
underworld,
yeah.
You know,
it has to be Cities of Sigmar. Oh my god!
it's got to be.
If you've got a
human.
goose farmer in Cities of
doesn't it?
Sigmar, I'm going to be over fucking joyed.
It's got to be human, definitely. It can't be like one of the elven races because it's just too inelegant, isn't it? It
It's a
doesn't
goose.
work for anything.
New Bretonian unit.
Yeah. Goose.
Yeah.
Peasant mob with Goose.
With Goose, yeah.
With Goose.
The ultimate WMD.
Yes.
Are we going to take a moment to just like celebrate that somebody has sat there and edge highlighted all those
I
feathers,
know,
but
right?
also has really done some work on making that the goosiest eye you've ever seen?
That is a really
Someone-
good eye. Really
It
good.
is.
It really is. It's got all like the malice of a goose's eye, doesn't it? All of the
It really
the
does.
violence of an actual goose's eye. I mean, anyone who
The
has
only thing it doesn't
encountered a
have
goose
is
in
the
real life just doesn't know, right? Just doesn't know.
the
They
only
are
thing it's missing
evil.
is those extra teeth that
Oh,
those things have.
Yes.
Oh, ugh.
Yeah, the serrated teeth on the inside of the beak. Yeah,
hmm
they are
And on the
evil.
tongue and down the
Yep.
throat.
Mm-hmm. Nightmare.
They
Horrible things.
evil.
Yep.
Horrible. What if this is actually going to get released in Legions Imperialis and it's just this giant demon goose?
That would
I'd be
amazing.
down. Is
That'd
the
be
orcs? No. Tyranids? No. Goose. Geese.
It's a goose. Yeah.
Just
The
goose.
Canadian Goose Army. Geese Army.
No, I know what it is. I know what it is. We're finally getting a proper update to Curse City, and this is
Oh.
the end of game boss.
It's the ultimate evil.
Mhm. It's like that, or it's Age of Sigmar farming simulator.
Soul Blight Grave Goose.
That'd be good. Brilliant. But
So yeah, that is that's next weekend, isn't it? The
I don't
2nd
know.
of
You two
March.
going?
No
I
way.
wish.
I can't.
I
Okay.
wish.
Yeah.
I would love to.
I wish.
I was looking at seeing how possible it would be to go down for it, because I thought it'd be quite a good way of meeting up with a few people and things and
Mhm.
and doing stuff.
I'd almost
Yeah, that
certainly
is a
work.
week on Saturday. That is,
It's real close.
Mm,
but unfortunately, there's just no way I can't afford
No.
to travel, let alone anything else.
oh,
If
I
you
can
can't-
get there. I can get there easy because it's only up the road. But it's I'm busy. I'm working, unfortunately.
I guess look at it this way. If you can't go, be glad because it'll be heaving.
It will. It
Oh yeah,
will.
yeah.
So that's the only benefit. It'll be fucking heaving. So you
It
can
will.
avoid the
You're right.
crowd.
Yeah. I'll engage online. You know? I think
Yeah.
that's easier.
yeah.
Isn't
Social distancing.
it? Yes, exactly that.
Have you actually been to Warhammer World there, George?
Oh yeah, I've
Yeah,
been
yeah,
to the
yeah.
world many times. I mean, as I say, I
Mm.
can literally kind of just hop on a train or a bus and get there.
Yeah.
It's relatively easy.
I just couldn't
Um,
remember if I've ever talked to you about it or
Oh
not.
yeah.
Yeah.
Have you
yeah,
taken Ray and crew down?
No, I haven't yet. I've got to
Ah,
though. They'd
yeah,
love
that
it.
could be something.
They'd have such a great time. I know they would.
Mhm.
I think the reason they've resisted thus far is because they don't want to start a new hobby. I mean, they've already got Ray with his
Yeah.
Transformers. You've got John with his Lego.
Oh
and
no.
Yeah, right. If they start this
Oh.
as well, they're gonna have to move out of their house. So
You know how you sell it to them? You say you've got your hobby, Ray. You've got your hobby with Lego. You need a hobby together. This is a hobby for you together. You know, good couple time together. You beat the
I
shit
could
out of
do
each
that.
other.
Yeah, that might work.
Yeah.
I am annoyed. I've been there 3 times now, and I still haven't found the assassin.
Well, they move it, don't they?
Yes,
They
yeah,
do. It
Yeah.
moves. It's different every time. So
bastards. I want to find the assassin. But on a side note, so yeah, Warhammer World anniversary is coming up.
Mhm.
No Warhammer Fest this year.
No.
Ah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Hidden in one of the articles that was talking about the anniversary. It's not this one, but in one of the
Mhm.
other ones, it said that Warhammer Fest is not on the calendar this year.
It was so poorly received last year. It's maybe for the best, even though it is kind of a shame. They should have probably kept the ball rolling with it to just keep getting better and better with it.
Yeah, yeah. I don't understand why you wouldn't just do it again, but take on board. I mean, granted, yeah, there's a lead into these things, so maybe a 2-year lead is what they need
Yeah.
to improve it. But
Yeah.
I don't know. You know, it seems like a real missed opportunity, that one.
Does a
'cause
bit. Does a bit.
I know a lot of people didn't think it was up to much, but I had a great
You
time.
had a good time, didn't you? You had a good time.
Yeah.
So, you know.
I thoroughly enjoyed it. I like talking to the cosplayers.
Mhm.
I liked all the different people doing stuff. I liked going around the Titan Owners Club. That was brilliant. Yeah, hanging around with Darren, hanging around with James. Yeah, just generally had a really good time.
Maybe
yeah.
maybe they will pick it up or something like it in a year or so.
Yeah, I would hope
Who
so.
knows?
I would hope so. 'Cause it's definitely worth doing. And there's enough people who'd want to go to it. But yeah, I don't know. Weird. All right, then. Moving on to some 40K. What are you doing there? You shouldn't be there. You should be there. Yeah. Fire. Now, we've never really talked about the Dawn of Fire series before.
I've never read these. I
No.
don't know. I mean, I like Nick Kime as a writer. Actually, I've read a couple of his books, and I actually quite like them. And this actually looks up my street. It's got a fair bit of the old chaos going on in it, obviously, which I always like.
It's got a little bald guy who looks like he's wearing some Tyranid skulls as shoulder pads. And it's got a Votan. It's got an actual Votan.
Marine
Oh my
down there,
god.
Plague Marine, which I like too.
It's I might have to have a look at these, try and work out what they are. Are they
I'm
a
intrigued.
series set in the same area, or do you need to read them all?
Damn, there's a lot of them too.
There is a lot.
There's more
isn't
than I
there?
thought.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued. I wouldn't mind having a look at these. Oh, they're all written by different writers as well. I thought they were one. Yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, one of not to be too mean, but one of them's written by Gav Thorpe.
There's two. There's two written by Gav Thorpe.
Oh, yeah.
Oh no, sorry, one. I saw
Yeah.
Guy Healy and was stupid and couldn't read.
Although all of the other
of course,
writers are pretty good.
Oh no, it's the Gav Thorpe gets the Space Wolves.
He gets the space.
Oh, not again.
Mm,
I can't do that again.
might skip that one.
I can't take Gav Thorpe right to Space Wolves ever again in my life.
Yeah.
I don't have enough
That's a
time
skip,
left.
isn't it? That's a hard pass.
Oh yeah, but the one that gets me about all these is Sea of Souls with Eddie Murphy. Just
I'm so
front
glad
row.
it's not just me that saw that. Jesus.
No. That
Oh.
is so. Someone took a picture of Eddie
Yeah.
Murphy and then used that as a
the
basis
artist
for that.
reference. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. You could see it. You could actually see that
It-
that's what they've done, right?
Pluto Nash finally gets his time in the sun.
Yeah. I mean,
About time.
there's precedent for this in 40K. There was the Dark Millennium cover, if you remember, that had a Space Marine based on was it Al Pacino, I believe.
It was Al Pacino
It
with
was Al
Scarface.
Pacino,
yeah.
wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
There is precedent for this in 40K.
Absolutely, which now I want to see alongside Henry Cavill and Gillian Anderson. I now want to see Eddie Murphy in the 40K series.
Yeah, absolutely. Why not?
And I am not letting go of the idea now of freaking Gillian Anderson turning up as like a ship mistress or something now.
Oh, God.
I need that.
Latara Sarin.
Mhm.
Get her as
I-
Latara Sarin. Fucking hell, yeah?
I didn't know I needed Gillian Anderson to look like she needed to be in 40K, but now it is in my head. It's just, it won't leave me alone. It would just be absolute joy to behold. Yeah,
Fuel.
these things confuse me. I'll have to have a look at these, get some reviews and things, and see what they're like.
Yeah, I would definitely like to read a review first before I dive into it. But they look like my kind of thing.
Big D asks you,
I do
Mr.
wanna
Griff,
read
have
this
you
one.
been watching the intro video to Squadron 22, whatever that is?
I have not. What is it?
I don't know. Maybe you should. Big D, send Gruff the intro, and then after the show, he can have a look at it.
No, well, I don't know what it is, so I feel like I need to see this now. I do want to read Hand of Abaddon because for a second there I thought they'd misspelled Abaddon. Whoops. Just because there is a photon in there, and this is the first time the photon have had any kind of anything.
Is it really? Have they never had like a
Yes.
Black Library book or anything?
Nope.
That's a surprise. That's a shocker, and I've dropped my pen.
Yep.
Does that mean they didn't sell desperately well? Because if they not getting
Well, they
pushed,
That's a surprise,
They're doing
isn't it?
fine. They're doing absolutely fine. Just for whatever reason, they didn't have a Black Library book to come out
That's a
alongside
real shame, 'cause
their
they're
annual
a good
release.
one. I would like to see how they work in the universe a bit more, because you do get much more of a sense of their character, obviously from a novel or a book or
Yeah,
whatever. That'd be
yeah.
much more interesting.
No,
Yeah,
it's,
maybe later on. I don't know.
yeah, it's just weird, isn't it? It's really weird.
Yeah, it is odd. It is odd.
And a bit of a shame. Although it looks like they're already getting a little chaotic influence. Did anyone see a little short story pop up? Well, not short story, but the little bit of background fiction where, for whatever reason, the Men of Iron just suddenly went all weird and tentacly and attacked everybody.
It'll happen eventually. There'll be Chaos Votan or something, an equivalent
Well,
of them. Maybe as part of the
that'd be
Dark Mechanicum. That would be my
That's
guess.
what I was going to say. Yeah. Because for what I understand, Dark Mechanicum are not far off.
That's
They're
what I understand. There's been so many
sometime towards the end of this year.
I mean, it's got to happen. Surely, it's got to happen, right? If they've done the
Yeah,
ad mech, they've got to do the Dark Mechanicum, right?
Well, yeah, aye. Now the question is, do you release a full army? Because right now, 40k desperately needs some other armies dealt with before
It does.
releasing a whole brand new army.
Oh yeah, if they do come, they'll be like it may not even be this edition, or it may be like the tail end of this edition. I mean, it's going to be that's going to be
Well-
really interesting. Actually, we've got a few things on like the Codex roadmap that are kind of interesting. So, Chaos Space Marines are due relatively soon. I think they're April, aren't they? April or May.
Yes.
And
yeah.
that book is going to be really fascinating because it not only is going to it's going to be the Chaos Space Marines and therefore it's going to be fun, but if the Emperor's children are in it, that will determine like how far off they are as well. If they are in it, then they're not coming anytime soon.
Yeah.
If they're not, definitely within 10th third, right?
Yep. That would be my guess.
Interesting.
I mean, yeah, it will
Let's
be.
see how we go.
Right. Shall we get into some recruiting?
Yay! This is a
Sure.
lovely mini. I like this guy. I like this guy a lot. He's got so much detail on him.
Now, I think all of my links have decided to open in completely the wrong order, which
Brilliant.
is very, very annoying. So we'll go for Warhammer Events Miniatures announced for 2024 first. If Andy can see that one.
Yep, I got that one. That's the one
There
with
you
the guy who
Right,
looked
cool.
like he should have a fishing rod, right?
Yep, that's the one.
Is he casting? Is that what he's
He's
doing?
casting. Yeah, the ultimate cast, like
I
in
mean,
the Goofy movie.
like in the Goofy movie, yeah.
Yeah.
That would make sense for a Kroot as well. If they made an actual Kroot with a fishing rod, that would be perfectly in universe, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that'd be fun. You could call it a war rod or something like that.
A war rod. Yeah, it'd have
war
to be
rod.
like, I don't know. It'd have to have like like an
Trout smasher.
wire, wouldn't it, or something?
Before we get any further, I do have to point out that the Goofy movie is the best Disney film of the 90s, and I will be taking no questions. Moving on. So yeah, we've got two guys. We've got one Kroot who is I can't see. I was thinking of him being more like doing a guitar solo, and he's just about to jump into the crowd from the
That works. Yeah.
stage.
Yeah.
That also works. Yeah, you could definitely like remodel that so it's a guitar. It'd be very easy.
It looks a little bit like Dee from Twisted Sister as well. So
You wouldn't even need to change the beak, to be fair.
we'd have to change the web toes.
That's true.
Is that
Anyhow,
a bit of Votan armor that he's wearing on his shoulder pad? It's got Votan runes on it. I'd assume it must be.
It is, yes, it is.
Votan, right? That's cute.
I
like
think
that.
it is.
I like that a lot.
Yeah. I like his little bit of meat that he's just there hanging
that's
around.
very cute. That's very cute. He's a lovely mini. So much character.
God, look at the amount of work that's been taken into painting that bit of meat.
No barbecue sauce on it, though, is there?
Now you want that just dripping off.
Oh, yeah. Honey glaze
Blood
it.
for the blood god mixing with... use an actual honey glaze.
They've sort of elongated the Kroot in their new miniatures, haven't they? Like their limbs are longer. They're much more sort of light and dynamic, which I really, really like.
Yeah, they don't have that sturdy feel
that
they've had in past things. Whilst they've always been lanky, they've always been very feet on ground, very sturdy. You don't get the idea of these things being hunters.
No.
What we're seeing now is a real change in them. And from the looks of it as well, it looks like the Kroot are actually going to end up being their own freaking army.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think
right now
we may have spoken about this the last time, but I think what will happen when the Tau Codex, which is due, of course, it's very soon, isn't it? I imagine there'll be a detachment where you can make a Kroot force, or which heavily favors like a Kroot-based army.
Mm-hmm.
So do you want me to sell you on making yourself a Kroot army, Gruff? And it has to be 3D printed, right?
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
All of the Kroot but Kermit the Frog. And then you just give them guns and knives and stuff, and they can ride on Big Miss Piggies, stuff like that. You know, the Vespers could be Gonzos. Would you do it? Would you do a Kermit the Frog army?
I probably yes, but no.
That'd be all in the paint scheme, wouldn't it? That'd be all in the paint scheme. If as long as you painted them to look like Kermit the Frog.
I know. I said 3D print, so I would want Griff to 3D print
the whole deal. Yeah.
Yep, banjos and everything.
Good God.
I mean, the only reason I would ever do a Kroot army would be to paint them up to look like birds of paradise.
Oh,
so
wow.
Instead of that green, just have that real bright, luminous feel.
If you could manage that, the army would look insanely good.
Well, at that point, would they look too much like Zangors, do you think? Because it'd be too bright and colourful for like Kroot, and they'd start dripping maybe a bit too Zinchian at that point. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, no, maybe. But
it would look so good. It would be worth doing. It would look so good. In fact, for Zangor, that'd be beautiful. That would be amazing. If you could pull it off, that'd be so good.
And now, speaking of things that need to be pulled off.
What?
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 That did not come out.
Did I go into a different podcast for a second?
That did not come out the way I intended it to, and I realized as soon as I said it. The Steel Rook for Age of Sigmar.
Yeah.
Now,
the Dark Souls character.
Straight out of Dark Souls, right?
Yeah, or Elden Ring. One of the two.
It's literally a Dark Souls Elden Ring character. It's like you know, I mean, the influence of Dark Souls, the FromSoft games on AOS, we've spoken about a lot before. Anyway, I mean, this is it.
Do you remember the DLC from 3, George, with those big bird creatures that have the knives that they throw to you in the DLC?
Oh, yes, I do.
It's not exactly the same, but it kind of gives me those vibes because of the bird aesthetic.
The Crow Knights, that's
very
much so.
Simple name. Why can I remember that?
No, it does, doesn't it? I mean, it really does give you those vibes. That's, by the way, guys, not a complaint.
No.
Soft stuff in AOS. Great, go for it. I'm up for it.
Poor guy's got no ass though. None.
I don't know. He looks kind of cool. I mean, oh god, he is flat, isn't he? Jesus,
yeah, flat.
I noticed that. Wow.
Yeah, he's 90s supermodel flat.
Yeah. How odd. Well,
maybe that's how he keeps the bird around him. He just keeps slicing the fleshy buttocks
to feed his bird. He just cuts his ass off. Yeah. Jesus. That's love for an animal.
That is, isn't it?
It explains the expression on the bird of just like.
Are you suggesting, like, over the years, he used to have this ginormous, huge ass that the women loved, or the lads liked, and he was like, "I got to feed my bird, lads." Over the years, just slicing bits and bits off.
I'm saying that once he had some like good plump buttocks.
Oh my god!
And he's this is how he feeds the bird. This is his curse.
The bird could be a demon, and it requires the flesh of man.
It could. I mean, it's funny. I was about to say actually, the crow aspect he wants to be careful of, because who is the Great Crow?
Well,
you know, the Great Crow is an aspect of Nurgle and of Moor, I know, but it's an aspect of Nurgle.
Now, yeah, it's more that got me interested, because this guy looks like he really needs to be some like high knight of Moor.
He does, doesn't he? But Moor's dead.
How dead can a god be?
Well, in AOS, really dead. Like,
true. Yeah.
If you look at Kane, I mean, like dead.
yeah. That's. I don't think anyone ate more. I think that's such a weird sentence.
I think Nagash ate more. In the background, Nagash ate all
the
gods of the dead. Nagash ate them all. So, yeah.
He actually did. Oh shit! Oh,
yeah.
Maybe there's one little sliver of more, and that's in this buttock-eating crow.
Maybe that's all that's left. In the same way that Morify has all that's left of Cain in the Iron Heart of Cain, right? Maybe that's it. Maybe that's it.
This guy is just feeding his buttock flesh to the last remaining bit of more.
Maybe that's it.
Headcanon accepted. Oh, sorry. Right.
You heard it on the Fluffenhammer. It's canon now.
Yeah, that's Fluffenhammer. That is.
Yeah,
It's like a rock
Fluffenhammer.
fact.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Rock fact. Yeah.
Oh, please let me know if anybody gets that joke.
Oh yeah, I get it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, right. Moving on to the crew then. That hurt. Right.
Oh.
Next up, we've got some crew lone spears, snipe specialists, bust tanks, and slink back into the underbrush. So,
Oh.
holy shit. That's a fucking dragon. That's Kroot riding
That's
a
ace,
dragon.
isn't it? That's lovely. I mean, it's absolutely brilliant. That is. What a lovely
Yeah.
creature.
It's not
So
just the
interesting.
creature.
It looks like an AOS miniature, that does. The amount of character that's in the damn thing.
Yeah.
It's
No.
really, in fact, it would fit in AOS fine, wouldn't it? You could fit that into certain AOS armies just fine.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. You just put that in as some a
Lizard
right
Man
knight
army,
in
like
that.
a-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
It's
not even
fine.
that. You stick that in Cities of Sigmar as one of the bigger mouse, and you're
Yeah.
fine. Yeah. It's like a shaman thing. You got
What a
something from the realm of fire.
lovely thing.
But
I mean,
it's
they're
not
not even like, the Tau and their aesthetic and whatnot are not really an army that I go for. They're just not my kind of thing. But my God, these guys are just, I think they're great. They've really done such a great number on these guys.
They've updated them. They've taken what we've seen from the Kroot in the past, and they've done a really good job of pushing them in the right direction. So there's enough influences
Yeah.
coming from real life stuff without it ever being 100% one-to-one.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
real smart. So there's a little bit of like Native American
Yep.
stuff there, but there's also a little bit of Inuit and a little bit of Mongolian, and it's
very
medieval
clever. It's
Mongolian. and
kind of like what they did.
it's
with
smart as hell.
Humanites, yeah. Where they
Yeah,
have that
yeah.
slightly very vague kind of like Arabic thing going on, but it's not specific. It's
Yeah,
very, very
yeah.
clever. It's very, very clever.
I'm highly impressed with this, and the Kroot himself that's riding this guy. I really like that sculpt.
Yeah.
It's a weird one. He looks old.
He
and
does, doesn't he?
grizzled.
He does look old, which I kind of like.
I can't work out how you make a bird lizard look old, but
No,
they've done it.
no, it looks good. It's a lovely mini. Lovely, lovely mini.
And then the picture that's further down, it shows like this bright green version of that lizard. Oh, look at that. That's lovely. Little Kroot hounds.
Yeah, wow. That's really cool, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, that sort of red flesh from the Kroot with the blue spines, that calls to me.
It's the kind of
That
miniature
really
that's
does
going to speak to any kid that had like rubber dinosaur toys as a kid.
Yes.
You know?
Yes. Oh, very much so. Yes. Oh man, I really like this Kroot. This is dangerous.
Oh no. Oh no. Is it beginning?
No, I've managed to hold off on getting Cities of Sigmar so far.
Oh, have you? Wow, well done. That's a surprise.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I really like the Cities of Sigmar, but there's only so much time in the day and so much money in the bank, so yeah, I'm
If
picking and
anyone's
choosing my
wondering what I'm
projects
doing,
very
by the way, my
carefully.
cat is down here, basically telling me to go to bed. She's being a pain in the arse, aren't you, Rufus?
Just spending your time going, what are you doing? It's late.
Basically, yeah, that's exactly what she's doing. It's sort of like, this is a suspicious break with tradition.
And of course, you get this really cool Kroot who's got a long gun and a telescope. Just generally,
What the hell are you doing? I'm talking to the cat, by the way. What the hell are you doing? Anyway, yes,
What is she
Warhammer.
doing?
Sorry,
That's all right. So I wonder
attacking
what.
the carpet is what she's doing.
Just spending time looking at you, going, "What are you up to?" Moving on, then. Let's talk about the Kroot hounds.
Oh, these I really like. I really like this. I thought he was great. They're very cute.
They're adorable.
It did
It's
feel
the
like we were
spot-
missing them as well before. Like I was like,
Yeah.
where are the
Yeah.
Croot Hounds? We got them.
Where
Here
are
they
the
are.
Croot Hounds? Right, where are the Croot Hounds? Because they've always been an essential part of the Croot part of the Tau, yeah? So yeah, it's lovely to see them. And I really like the fact that they've drawn such a lineage between them and the Croot miniatures. They do look like they're part of the same genus somehow.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Which is exactly what it needs to be.
I think that to me they look a little too similar. It just kind of looks like Kroot have decided to go on the hands and feet. Yeah. Well, the original Kroot had the weird, really long mouths, didn't they? Almost like crocodile mouths.
They had like an alligator thing going on. Yeah.
Yeah. So although I think that was a bit of a weird design choice. I think this is a little too safe in some aspects, a little too similar for my tastes, that they look just like Kroot just running on their all four hands. Maybe it's the color scheme as well. Maybe painting them up like differently to normal Kroot might help differentiate themselves a little bit more or something.
I think the problem is they've got these weird wrist guard things on.
That doesn't help, yeah.
and that makes it look like
like
they have
arms
just
rather than legs. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you took them off, I think you wouldn't see it. It would look a lot. Also, it's a shame they don't have proper tails. They've just got little nubs.
They've got docked tails essentially. But no, I like them. I think they're very cute. If I was running like a Kroot Tau army, I'd have a lot of these guys.
Ah, fuck the Tau. Kroot's where it's at.
It would be amusing if it is essentially Codex Kroot, wouldn't it? When it comes out,
it's Codex Kroot with Tau allies.
Tau allies, essentially.
Gruff 2024. Fuck the Tau.
It's not for any of the reasons that people normally say "fuck the Tau." The Tau aren't grimdark enough. Actually, I think you find they are. The Tau, they can take anything off the board with their long-range weapons. Well, so can most of the Imperial tanks. No. The problem is the Tau. They don't have big Kroot dogs and smell slightly of shit and meat. That's where the Tau have gone wrong. The Kroot
is that in the unit description that they smell of shit?
Well, you tell me.
Wouldn't it?
If you sniffed a Kroot, it wouldn't smell good.
I don't know. I don't know what, like, are they birds? Because it might all smell like roasted chicken when you eat them.
Well, I mean,
Green chicken, but
they're somewhere between avian and reptile, aren't they? So,
pigeon meat. Are you saying they taste like pigeon?
Oh, that's not bad. That's all
yeah.
right.
No,
You go for that.
There's the color scheme for your Kroot army. Pigeon colors.
Pigeon colors.
Pigeons.
I was reading up earlier this week about the entirety of the why city pigeons are so useless, and it's because Victorians basically trained them and took care of them and used them as like all these different little pets and everything, and then they fell out of fashion and the Victorians just left them alone, and as a result pigeons have never been able to get back. So anybody who's got an issue with pigeons being around your city centre, it's your fault. Get fucked.
Well, it's not your fault. It's your ancestors' fault. It's not your fault.
No, I'm gonna blame people.
Let's be honest, as most things are.
It's the fault of the Victorians.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking Victorians, and they're shining up bloody armor and taking all the paint off statues. Fucking Victorians eating mummies. Victorians used to eat mummies.
Why wouldn't you?
Weird bastards.
Meat's meat, innit?
Yeah, they just like buy a mummy off the black market and put it on the kitchen table, and you just have like a dinner where everybody would come along and eat somebody.
See, I mean, if you've got the money, rock and roll and do that, but I just don't look at a dead corpse because I'm not a flesh eater. And I don't just go, I'll just have some of that. It's dried. No. It's like worse than jerky.
Yeah, it really is. It doesn't have any of the seasoning for one thing.
No. Well, dust and sand, if you call
dust
that seasoning.
Sand,
yeah.
Not just good. Not
mental.
Good, I imagine.
Victorians.
Anywho.
Freaks. Moving on then. Shall we get into some AOS?
Yeah.
All right, so new regiments of renown and free rules for Usheran. So
Hey.
yeah, so we got a couple of little bits and bobs here. The reason I wanted to bring this up, I don't actually have Mad King Rises yet. I'll probably get that this weekend.
That's the campaign book, right?
Yeah, Don't Bring Us
Yeah.
book 4.
Okay.
Which I am still saying there's going to be a book 5.
Well, we know there's a book 5.
Do we?
Don't
Yeah,
we?
yeah.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, there
good.
is a
Talked
book
about that.
5.
I can't remember
Yeah,
what
yeah,
it
yeah.
is, but we talked about it.
Nor do I, but there is one. Oh, it's the
Yeah.
the witch elf thing with the
Oh.
wings.
Yeah,
Whatever
the crow lady.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, that's right.
Whatever that thing was.
So yeah, new regiments of renown. You got Manfred von Carstein.
Woo.
He's turning up, which it's been a while since he's done
It
anything.
has
He's
been a
turning
while,
up.
actually. It has been a long time since he was in the background or did anything really.
Yeah, he's I'm not too fussed about Manfred von Carstein vanishing into the background at this point, to be honest.
Oh, why? What's wrong with Manfred?
I mean, come on,
He
but
just
you've
feels
got
a
to
bit-
you've got to give Manfred his due. There'd be no
Yeah.
AOS without him. He
Oh, true,
basically,
very true.
You know, he facilitated the end of the old world because he was just annoyed with Nagash. So, you know, he deserves a few props.
I think the main reason I don't mind him fading into the background is because he was such a big part of that original opening salvo of novels, the Realm Gate Wars,
Yeah,
and
that's
they
true.
were so freaking awful that I want to forget them
That's true.
in every possible
Absolutely
way.
true.
And you got Neferata. Now, one of the things I didn't know about until I was reading this War Scroll and I was talking to the staff in my local Games Workshop is that Usheran can be a regiment of renown all by himself.
Yep.
So if you have an undead army, Usheran can turn up.
He can just be in it.
He takes up, he can take more points than we allow for allies. So he can be in it with, it's 2 different units of ghouls. I can't remember exactly what it is. But he ends up being like a big part of an army for any undead army. It's really cool.
Can you use him in
that is
Warcry?
Probably. You know.
That would be amusing, wouldn't it? Him like blundering about Warcry, bloody hell, taking up a goodly part of the play area.
It's when he turns up in Underworlds. That's when you're like, oh, shit. Well, at least though you'd only have 1 unit, so you can just get your turns over and done.
That's true.
Quickly. So,
That's true.
fucking Underworlds, man. Oh man. Sorry. Right. So yeah, just some really cool things. So there's 6 new regiments of renown coming, which is nice. I like the
It's
fact
just
that
a
the
way of-
regiments of renown are.
It's just a
Turning
way of
up.
injecting like a little bit of vitality, if you will, into the current undead, isn't it? It's just a way of sort of bolstering them and bringing them back a little bit, particularly the Mortarks. This seems to all focus around the Mortarks, doesn't it, primarily?
Yeah, no, that's exactly what it is. Lady Oleander. That's a really weird way to say that. Lady Oleander.
No, that's right.
That's right. That's
It
how
just
you
came
heard
out of. I know, it just came out of my mouth really weirdly. It sounded like I was about to sing a little song.
it.
Neferata and Usheran, and of course Manfred.
Manfred, yeah.
Manfred.
Arkan, he's not. Is he part of this?
He's dead.
Nope.
No, he's still
Arkan's,
dead. He's
super
still
dead.
dead.
Not
Like
dead,
super
just
dead.
super dead.
Yeah,
Arkan's still floating through the abyss.
he'll be back.
He's not dead. He just got thrown into nothing.
Yep.
He'll be back.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
He survived
Probably.
worse.
I hope he comes back and he's just like normal skull head, but he's on like a giant skull dragon body. So it's just this giant scary body, tiny head.
Arkan the Thick. 2 C's.
That would be great. That would be great.
Next up, we've got cut deals and betray your friends. This is a really, really cool little mechanic that they've placed in the Mad King Rises.
Oh right. Okay.
Damn, the scenery they
basic-
use for the Bone Reapers is great.
It's
Like
friggin'
that
really is,
Bone
isn't it?
Gate.
It's just so
Yeah.
cool, isn't it? I
Yeah.
love that. The architecture of the Ossiarchs, which is also made out of bone, it's so much fun.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they've really gone hell for leather in making this stuff. I don't know how they've done it, to be honest with you. It's just a lot of work.
A lot of work. Yeah, it's very cool.
So the idea is that in the campaign that you can do here, every player starts with 50 command points and cannot generate more by usual means. These are spent
Okay.
on command abilities, ploys, or even offered to persuade players to do your bidding.
Hmm.
Deals can be offered at the start of each turn before the hero phase. You can offer up ploys, command points, and victory points, but these are not binding.
Hmm.
So the way the rule works, at the start of each turn before the hero phase begins, all players are allowed to give ploys, command points, or victory points to another player. This is known as making a deal. What you receive
Okay.
in return for making the deal is up to you to negotiate. For example, you can gift a player a command point or a victory point if they agree not to attack you in that phase. Note that these deals are not binding, and it's up to the other player to honor their end of the deal. The name of the game is Triumph and Treachery, after all.
Okay,
So
interesting.
it's a 4-player game basically, and this just looks like a really cool way to play.
It's
It's
sort of
very
AOS
different.
elements of poker, you know, where
Yeah.
you've got to sort of play it straight, but actually you're going to play as a complete bastard and screw everyone else over. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that looks kind of
Yeah.
fun. It's going to be the source of argument. There's no doubt.
That's why you
But
shouldn't do it with Gruff, because he'll just turn you into a
Yeah.
toad.
but it does look fun.
At every fucking instance, if there's Toad, he'll do it. And this would be the same thing here. There is no Toad spell in this game, but this would be the thing where Gruff goes, "Thanks for the thing, fuck you. I'm going to do it anyway."
Not necessarily. I might lull you into a false sense of security first.
No, I don't trust you. I
There's,
understand the way of Gruff.
Win at any count. Yeah, and there's like hidden agents that you can get involved as well. So
Mhm.
yeah, you can really fuck people up. You can use this ploy at the start of the combat phase if you are a neutral player. If you do so, pick one unit belonging to a different player who is within 3 inches of a unit belonging to the player chosen to be the enemy. The
Mm.
strike first effect applies to the unit you pick in that phase. Yeah, that's nasty.
Yeah, it's pretty nasty because
so-
Strike First in AOS is really good. It's like one of the king abilities.
Yes.
It's really, really good.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean this could be fun. I mean, it injects like this new note, this new element to games of AOS.
Mhm.
That I actually rather like. It's a bit more. It's quite dynamic, and it relies on deception, which is hilarious.
Yeah. Well, it takes a lot of the concepts from Mighty Empires, if you remember that,
Oh god.
going right the way back there, and it streamlines them right the way down. But it's the same kind of concept,
Mhm.
and I'm in for that.
Yeah, kind of up for
There's
it.
also
I can't see
Yeah.
it lasting like as a permanent part of the game because it's too
No.
abstract, but it is fun for certain like types of games.
No, absolutely. I mean, I wouldn't have an issue if this turned up in like different campaigns,
Yeah, that's what I'm
versions of
thinking.
this.
As an optional
I mean-
rule set, yeah.
Because the entire point of having it is for something called the contest of the Mortarchs.
Yeah.
Nagash want to keep track of his Mortarch's resources, and they may write him groveling missives detailing which ploys they wish to purchase. They can try and assassinate their fellow Mortarchs, informing Nagash of their plans, who views this conflict as nothing more than inevitable culling of the weak.
Mm.
He'll reveal the results of each attempt, but not who undertook it. I mean, that's
So
cool.
it's the
Yeah.
politics of the Mortarchs, isn't it? That's what
Yes.
they're getting at. That's the
Yeah.
focus here. I kind of
Yeah.
like that.
Nagash's perspective, I don't fucking care. Leave me
Yeah,
alone. Do what you like.
Do whatever you want.
Kill things. It's all I care about.
All I want. So as long as you're doing that, have at it.
I just want to dust my Fabergé egg collection. Leave me alone.
I just imagine like Nagash just sitting there with his head in his hands, just going, "Why did I have so many children?
Why are they all assholes?
Why?"
Well, to be fair, that's Nagash's fault, and you know.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I'm not saying he should be reflective. He'd be annoyed, but he wouldn't reflect on his own failures as
Definitely wouldn't.
father-esque thing.
He definitely wouldn't.
No,
Just have Nagash and the Emperor having a conversation about their kids.
I think
Yeah,
I think the Emperor's worse. I haven't
Emperor's
read
way-
the
Yeah,
third,
yeah.
but
Yeah, I think the Emperor's way worse as a
Yeah.
dad than Nagash is. Nagash gives his kids some leeway. You know, he actually like cultivates some of their qualities, whereas the Emperor is like, no, you be as I demand you be, and if you don't, you're out.
Mm-hmm. The picture down the bottom of here, the dire wolves, that glow effect in their eyes is absolutely insane.
Yeah, fuck off, GW painters, you bastards. Fuck off.
That's incredible work. And just look at the scenery. It's so good. Anyhow.
Is that Warcry
yeah.
scenery? I mean, in the background at least.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
is. It's Warcry scenery with a little bit of the Cities of Sigmar strongholds.
Is that the front stuff?
Into it.
Because I don't recognize the pile of corpses.
No, the pile of corpses, I think that's entirely handmade.
Yeah, it's bespoke, isn't it? That's just corpses thrown together.
All right.
I think she's taken from one of the Warhammer World displays, looking at it. Yeah. Anyhow, cool. So we'll move on to some Warcry. Don't all shout at once.
Wow.
Yeah,
if it were an actual
Flesh...
Warcry set, then I would be like, woo, yeah, but it's not. It's just rules, isn't it? No. It's just rules for.
Yeah, it's just that.
It's fine. You know, it's nice introducing them to Warcry, but it's nothing like to write home about.
Nah, no, it's just like, yeah, you can play with the ghouls now. It's like, okay,
yeah, that's it. That's exactly it.
Specifically the new ghouls, because they did this before with the original ghouls set as well.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, okay,
that's fun.
The only reason I really want
I don't know if we have this if we've had this in the set, but they did reveal the Vanguard sets. Did we have that in News Stories?
Yeah, I think so.
Did we have the Vanguard?
I don't think we did.
No, I don't.
Or did we not?
No, but they did reveal the Ghoul Vanguard set. I think they showed off the Stormcast Vanguard set a while ago, but the Ghoul set is basically the Morbid Knights, an Archregent, the Crypt Guard. And I think that's it, which is basically all the new stuff.
Yes.
You also get the Varghulf Courtier as well. So it's basically the preview box, but without the character model in there.
Yeah,
it's pretty decent. I don't know how good it is, quote unquote, price wise, but it seems like it's an okay starter set. I wonder if this means that they're going to be phasing out basic bitch ghouls in favor of the Crypt Guard instead, which look better, obviously.
I'd assume that's the case.
I would think so. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like the basic ghouls have been around for way too long anyway. Way too long.
And I don't care about the Stormcast one, so I didn't look at that.
No.
Sorry.
Yeah, the only reason I really wanted to bring this one up is the really, really nice picture that they start the article with. The paint job on that freaking... Yeah, that just looks really good.
Yeah, it's nice, isn't it? It's very nice.
And I just wanted to hear Andy get angry at it.
That was it.
Yeah. Fuck you, Gruff.
So then, there was a Kroot one that I missed out. I do apologize. That's because
the Kroot Shaper, yeah, the Trail Shaper.
Yes. Once again, really, really nice.
Oh,
I actually really like the fact that.
Lovely little miniature. There's so much going on him with all the bits of leather and like the straps and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
This was not the order that you gave me the stories this week.
No, when I opened them all up, when I reopened Internet Explorer, it just rearranged all the pages. So
brilliant.
I apologize. I don't know why it does. It's never done it before. It's like Windows Explorer just froze. I had to close it and reopen it.
Oh my god!
It went, you have. Would you like to reopen these tabs? Yes. And it's like, not in order anymore. Fuck you. So yeah. So my apologies because they're all over the place. I've tried my best to make them correct, but I'm shit. So yeah, the Shaper is really, really cool. I like the fact that his gun is open. That's not something you rarely. You see much,
he's reloading it, isn't he? That's very cool. Yeah. That's what he's holding, isn't it? It's a shell for the gun, right?
Yeah.
That's very cute.
Not as I saw somebody say Yarrick's cybernetic eye.
Or you
No.
could paint it that way, couldn't you?
That'd be pretty badass to shoot someone's robot eye at someone.
Yeah, that would be fun, wouldn't it?
Pretty good.
Shoot somebody eye out with another eye.
Yeah.
Either Yarrick's eye or Magnus's eye, right? If you were going to shoot Magnus's eye, actually, if he was holding Magnus's eye, then it would have mutated him into something horrible by now. So, yeah.
Is he
Yes.
doing a Hulk Hogan? Is he like pointing at the guy and he's like, "I'm coming for you, brother," and as he's loading the next bullet?
That's how I read it as, yeah.
That would be cool.
Yeah. Or it's either that or he's going, that one. And there's another crew behind him going, go on, go on. I'll bet you a piece of imperial meat for it.
Yeah, is that just a slab of meat or is it a book of meat? No, it's a slab of meat, isn't it?
Yep. It's
Yeah,
a slab
okay.
of meat, and it's got an imperial tattoo on it.
Oh, it has to be it has to be ogre flesh, right?
And looking at the size of it, that has to
Yeah.
come from an ogre.
Oh,
I'd
that's
eat an ogre.
hilarious. That's hilarious. I like that. The imperial tattoo.
Mm.
That's brilliant.
Almost
So-
looks a bit like a slab of cake on his back if you don't look at it quite right.
If you want to take it that way.
Yeah, I tell you why. It's because the highlight on the edge of the meat looks like it's white. So to me, that looks like icing.
It's meant to be fat, Andy. It's meant to be a layer of fat.
Same
not
thing.
icing.
Icing. You know, it's just it's like the show. Is it cake? Just get into it.
Yeah. Is that what he's playing, do you think? Or is it cake or is
Is
it
it
meat?
yeah, meat? Either way, I win. Cake or
Yeah,
ogre.
Either way, it's fine, isn't it? You know?
I
Oh,
like to think
God.
that Andy feels that fat is just meat icing.
I really don't like fat. Whenever I get like meat and this fat, I always get rid of it because I don't like the texture. I don't like the taste. I like things being cooked with the fat, but then once it's on the meal, I'm just like, get away, go away. Yeah.
What about crackling? How do you feel about crackling?
I'm not sure I've had crackling.
Really?
What?
Oh my God.
Whereabouts is crackling in the food?
Oh, crackling, it's the skin and the fat. It's the skin and the fat on pork normally.
The skin's okay as long as it's crispy.
It's rendered, so it's not just crisp, it's like crystallized. So it
I'm not sure I've-
cracks. It's absolutely stunning if it's done well.
And
I'm not sure I've had that.
next time I see you, Andy. In fact, Andy, I'm going to come through to Newcastle this weekend
my
to
God.
take you somewhere so you can have crackling.
Ugh, Newcastle.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Crackling is like the best. It's the best thing.
I'm going to find a shop that only sells crackling of different
Nothing
types.
else.
Feed you 10 stone of crackling.
We sell crackling, pig's face, trotters, all the good
Everybody
bits of
has
the pig.
technique for getting it right. Everybody
wow.
does it
Mhm.
differently, so you know.
I mean, chicken crackling, like chicken skin. What we do now is put it in the air fryer for 15 minutes.
I hear that's the in thing to do to have the air fryer.
Oh,
It really is. It really is. I mean,
I love my air fryer.
it's very good for getting crispy things, crispy chips. and
Yes.
whatnot.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Air
Warhammer
fryers.
podcast, apparently,
Yeah.
guys.
No, I want to talk about crackling some more. Yeah, we're
Let's
completely
talk about crack
changing-
more.
We're going to now completely change on a hilt here, and now the Fluffenhammer is all about crackling.
Crackling
Yeah.
hammer. Crackle hammer.
Cracklehammer. Oh, that's a really good name, actually.
Crackle. I don't know.
Fluff and crack. No, absolutely not. Right, moving on then. Last one for this evening.
Oh,
Oh,
it
dear.
sounds good.
And of course, that decided
Wow.
to be the perfect time to.
I got us the
completely
Dark
close.
Angels one. Do-do-do-do-do-do.
Dark
Uncover the
Angels.
secrets of the new Dark Angels with the Warhammer design team. Blah, 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 blah.
They are
Not traitors.
absolutely well, yeah, but absolutely beautiful. My God, they're so good.
Is it only 3 miniatures? Because that's all I can see, or is it more than 3?
I think it's more than 3. I think it's one of those multi-part kits where you can make like, different,
Okay.
Different
That makes sense.
configurations.
Yeah.
Yes, it is, because you can get ones without their helmets and with hoods, and you can have them with the swords down or up, and
Mm-mm-mm.
in lots of different configurations. They are absolutely stunning, aren't they? And I love the fact they've gone for like the old Dark Angels paint scheme for them, like the old
Mhm.
Heresy Dark Angels, the original ones.
Yeah.
Love it, absolutely love them.
So what is what are the purpose of this unit? Is it meant to be like the I'm trying to think of stupid Space Marine units. Is it meant to be the Ultramarines with the big shields equivalent? Just heavy melee?
I think that's what they are. Yes, I think that's what they're going to be. They're going to be a very, very, very nasty melee unit indeed.
Mm.
Ostensibly, not that he really needs it. I think they're kind of like a kind of bodyguard for Lionel Johnson.
Oh, okay.
Not that he really needs it, but wow. I mean,
That's exactly what they are. The inner circle companions are there to be the ones that line orders directly, and then
it's interesting, isn't it? Because there seems to be
helps people.
there's this wonderful political disconnect, it seems, between Lionel Johnson and the inner circle of the Dark Angels, which makes a lot of sense because he hasn't been around for very long. He doesn't really know what they've been up to or what their culture is like now. These guys, it seems like I don't know whether it's the case, but the background in the fluff, it seems to suggest that these are forgiven fallen.
Yes. That's
Oh,
exactly what
hang
they
on.
are.
Is that something that can happen?
Apparently so. Yeah. Well, if the lion forgives them, then what
Oh,
are they
yeah,
going to
that's
say?
fair enough. Yeah.
What are they going to say? Are they going to say, "No, Dad, you're wrong"?
I mean, there might be some that just kind of whisper it and go.
Yeah, there might be some, but they ain't.
We've literally blown up planets because we
Yeah.
thought there might be one of these guys,
thought
but it's
there might be
fine.
one
It's fine. It's
but,
fine.
yeah.
It's okay. We've killed entire civilizations because maybe someone talked to one once. Yeah.
We've turned entire chapters heretic on the
Yeah.
basis that one of these might be amongst them.
But no, Lionel Johnson says you're okay. That's
Lionel
fine. No problem. No issues. No issues.
It's
There'd
fine.
be so. I could imagine there'd be some disgruntled Dark Angels with that. I'd be so annoyed.
What I find,
because like the other guy, I mean, like the one that they've redesigned, Asmodai, he would be one of the ones who'd be really annoyed, I imagine,
oh yes,
because he
Dad, what have you done?
How have
hates
become?
the Fallen. I mean, like he really hates the Fallen more than the other Dark Angels do. And it spent like a whole lifetime torturing and tormenting them.
Lionel Johnson sips him down. You might have gone a bit far, son. And he's like, Dad, no, come on, man.
Come on, yeah. This was all for you.
What? Are you Mortarian or something? Am I Typhus? What is this?
What is this? Yeah.
Can we not be Can we not agree on the Fallen being assholes? No.
Nope. Apparently not. Apparently not.
I always want to take that Asmodai skull helm and put that on the lion just to see what that would look like.
Would it be the right size?
It wouldn't. He's too small.
They would look really funny.
He'd have a very tiny head.
Went into the gym too long. Didn't grow his head though.
Skipped head day.
My favorite one of these inner. I keep want to call them the inner city companions. That's not what they're called. It's because it almost sounds like ICP, and ICP before Insane Clown Posse was Inner City Posse.
Wow.
And all I have in my head was Inner City Posse got the dog beats, ICP, we got the dog beats. Nobody will understand what I'm talking about there, so I'll just leave that alone. Now, the one that's got the banner with the
wow.
I love the fact that just in case you didn't know which chapter he's
Dark Angels.
And then on the back, it's got Tenebris Angelus, which is Latin for Dark Angels, and Erebus Angelicus, which is Greek for Dark Angels. So, in case you were wondering which chapter it is, he has written Dark Angels on his stick 3 times in 3 different ways.
So
robes, got the armor, but just in case, got sensors.
So it's going to be really confusing if a Blood Angels pick this up and go, oh, that's not yours. Yeah. Oh, come on now.
Hang on.
Put that down.
I wonder if this is like a sort of return to sender thing. Yeah, if he loses it, everyone knows it.
Dark Angels, The Rock.
The Orcs are like, well, it does have their name on. We got to give it back. Dear Dark Angels, found this in dead body. Here you go. Love Orc.
That chuckled me something chronic. It really did. Oh man, but it's a really nice looking kit. Lovely, really nice.
They're absolutely lovely, and Asmodai is incredible.
Oh yeah, that thing is.
I mean,
beautiful.
Wow. It's based on
I mean,
the artwork, isn't it? Who is it?
Yeah.
yeah, the
Artwork.
Mark Gibbons.
It's the Mark Gibbons artwork, isn't it? Basically brought to life.
Yeah,
You know, it
yeah,
looks,
even with the smoke effect.
yeah, it's incredible. It's absolutely incredible.
It's the thing that if I did I mean, I always want to do a Deathwing army, but it's all. I always want to do the more Deathwing as they were in the 80s.
Mm.
But I know the monastic thing never really worked for me.
Oh, the
but
monastic
this guy
thing,
is
I
just
really
good.
like
Yeah,
that. I really like that personally, but I know you like the old Native American style Dark Angel.
I do.
Adam.
I do. Yeah, really, really like that.
Nods
It
to
just
it.
looks so different.
There's nods to it throughout. In the
Mhm.
miniatures range, there are still nods to it, but it's not quite as overt as
Yeah.
it used to be.
But Asmodee just looks incredible.
It really
He's just
does.
It's one of those ones I wouldn't mind having just to paint.
Yeah.
Just as a little guy I can just put on the shelf.
I can see lots of word bearers conversions, like Dark Apostles.
That makes sense. Yeah.
I can see a lot of that happening.
He doesn't have Dark Angels written on him 3 times either. Everyone knows where he comes from.
He
Although,
needs to.
saying
He
that-
doesn't need to be returned to sender though.
No, he can find his own way home, can't he?
Yeah.
Well, maybe that's what the little bits of paper on him are. It's just his addresses and phone numbers.
It's a little help me cards. Yeah. I have
And
a
then,
condition. What's the condition? I want you to die. Oh, there's your card back.
Is that what
The
he's
long-winded trap.
he's got one of his purity seals. Oh,
He just
dear.
gets fallen to read the purity seals before running them through.
Yeah.
Brilliant. And then we've got Belial, of
Oh.
course. I mean, it's interesting. Like these guys have both had lots of miniature updates. These two, they've had quite a few iterations of late.
I was going to say, Belial isn't that
No,
old.
the
mini,
original,
is he?
the original Belial wasn't very good either. Unfortunately, it looked
No.
really weird. It just, like the stance of it was really strange. This one is way better. It's way
Yeah.
better. It's difficult to make a dynamic Terminator work, but this I think pulls it off nicely.
Well, yeah, just having him striding forward,
Yeah.
blowing shit out of things.
Absolutely, yeah. And they haven't gone overboard with him, which I also like. He's not decorated. There's something very sort of compared to the rest of the Dark Angels, kind of bare bones about him, but I think that works.
I do like the cloak going over the shoulder pad.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah.
Yes, I like that.
It's just a really simple design choice, but it just works so well.
And it's one less shoulder pad you have to paint with excruciating detail. It's just a cape.
Yes, it's just a cape, so it's not
Yeah.
that difficult. Yeah, absolutely.
Relatively speaking, obviously, compared to some people's paint jobs.
Well, apart from the fact that they've modeled the fact it has an inner lining.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
It's really good, but fuck you for actually modeling an inner lining.
Yeah.
Sons of bitches, like. Oh man. So yeah, that's pretty much all of the stuff to cover. We'll be obviously getting ready for the March the 2nd and 3rd live shows.
2 weeks, 1 week.
Got the Dark
It's
Angels
week on
Codex
Saturday.
coming as well, haven't we? On Saturday,
We
that's up
do.
for pre-order, I do believe.
Yeah,
Looking forward to
there's
that one. Looking forward to that.
And I've got an idea that at some point I think it'd be really fun to do an episode where we just do a one-shot actual play of something. I really want to get an RPG in.
Oh, an RPG would
So-
be great fun. Yeah, I'd love to do an RPG.
So I'm just thinking that at some point we need to
If you want to
just do a
short
one-shot.
one, then something like Paranoia would be great because that's very one-shot oriented.
Yes, yeah. Oh yeah, Paranoia would be a good shot. But I was thinking of maybe doing like a Call of Cthulhu or something. Like a,
Yeah, you can. I mean,
a
a
one-off
one-shot
call.
Call of Cthulhu's easy peasy.
Yeah.
It's your old sort of like haunted house thing, isn't it?
and I know a few people who are very good COC games masters, so that could be a good laugh. Or failing that, I'm fairly sure that we could run through a Night of Blood or something, the old Warhammer Fantasy roleplay one shot. That's an easy one to do.
Yeah.
Beastmen, giant spider, all good and laugh.
No, up for it.
So with all
Up
that,
for it.
pardon me, Yeah, my throat is starting to give out now, so I think we'll draw
Mhm.
everything to a close. Andy, if people wanted to rise you from the dead and worship you as a god before you devoured their very souls and sent their minds spiraling into a madness ladder, where would they be able to find you?
Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, those places as Decade Andy, where I stream 10:15 UK time usually. Won't be doing that tonight. And you can find me on the Moonbase 2 podcast. Just type in Moonbase 2 Transformers podcast, where I talk about Transformers each week as well.
Spot on.
Yeah.
George, if people wanted to find some way to eldritchly call you from beyond the abyss, where you then appear in the shape of Christopher Walken speaking the words of John Rhys Davis, where could they find you?
That's very specific. On YouTube at Exaggerated Elegy, where there are lots of different podcasts and video game let's plays and all sorts of different things. Going to be returning to looking at Hannibal very soon, the TV series. You can also find me on Our Lives in Horror, where I talk to lots of creators from the horror independent community. If you go over to Arrow Films and look for the Hellraiser UHD and Blu-ray set, The Quartet of Torment, myself and my colleague Kit Power, we are on the Hellbound disc of that. On the featurette, Hell is What They Wanted. It's basically an hour and 40-minute chat about Hellbound and the Hellraiser mythos and Clive Barker, and it's really good. We're very, very proud of that. Links to all of my published work can be found at strangeplaygrounds.com. And if you go to the Evil Empire of Amazon and type in George Daniel Lee, you'll find my Amazon author page, which has links to all of the my short story collections and all of the anthologies and things that I've been published in. Over at gingernutsofhorror.com, you can find the ongoing series My Life in Horror, which is a series of non-fiction. It's articles about my experience of horror media and how it's shaped my imagination and all that kind of business. You can still sometimes find me over on Twitter, but that's going to be going away very, very soon because it's a trash fire. And you can also find me over at Blue Sky at George Daniel Lee or Exaggerated Elegy.
Excellent stuff. As for myself, and I'm going to start this, at some point, I'm going to get a t-shirt printed with the words, ask me about my fucking Patreon, because I am terrible at advertising the Patreon.
Yeah.
So over on Patreon right now at patreon.com/Fluffenhammer, there is all of the Blight War series is now up for your viewing up to a month before it comes out on YouTube proper. There is also season 4 of Necromunda Historica, which is the in-universe spotter's guide to Necromunda. I think that's probably the best way to describe it, where each video is just an area of Necromunda or a interesting person in Necromunda, and it is done in the voice of an old professor who is telling you a lecture about that thing, because for some reason I started doing it and now I can't stop. Necromunda Historica has probably become my favorite thing to do. It's just strange. Outside of that, you can find the Fluffenhammer on Twitter at Fluffenhammer. You can find us on Blue Sky at the Fluffenhammer. You can find us on Threads and Instagram and YouTube at the Fluffenhammer. You can also, if you are really desperate to have some strange dreams, my first ever book is out on the 1st of April. I am aware of the date. That wasn't on purpose. Which is, it's so scary to say that's my first book, fucking hell. It's The Path Less Tread. It is a collection of art, short stories, some strange poetry, song lyrics, and various things that I have done over the years. It also has a 3 excerpts from a book that I will at some point actually release called Tooth Hairy, which is the story of dwarfs having to take over the Tooth Fairy business after the genocide of the fairies. It sounds a bit silly, but it's actually it's a passion project of mine that deals with a lot of quite heavy things in the guise of fairy tales. So yeah, that is everything for me. So with all that being said, we will get out of here and let you guys go to bed. Thank you very much, George and Andy.
Oh, pleasure, always.
And thank you very much to you guys at home if you are indeed still listening.
Thank
Good
you,
night.
guys. Bye-bye.
Eh.